Okay, I'm coming. Just trying to take care of a couple things. Oh. X gonna give it to you. Let's see. Alright. Why is my camera always going low? I hate when my camera's low. Because I'm getting more muscular, but I'm not where I want to be. So I'm like, I don't want the camera down here, bro. Alright. Oh, I need to start recording just in case. Let's get after it. I don't understand why. Cool. It looks like everything's working. Let me make sure sound's working. It looks like everything's working. Sound's working. Cool. I love how it doesn't matter how much you stream, it still takes 10 years to get everything going. Cool. Hey, thanks for the like. I appreciate that. Whoever did that. I'm sure it's one of my I have like at least 3 lurkers. And I'm not complaining. I like it. Now, 2 of these views are me. One of them to check to see if everything is going right. And then, of course, the one that it pulls up automatically. But then there's a few people in here that lurk every time I go live. I think one of them's legal. He's only chatted one time. Alright. So, my topic today is how Elon and memes destroyed the mainstream media, which it seems like that's what everybody wants to talk about. And I put the stuff going on in Ukraine in there. I just didn't mention Ukraine because if I put Ukraine in the title, YouTube's going to destroy the stream. They've already done it several times now. I cannot put Ukraine in the title. Talking about Ukraine is like detrimental to any channel right now. But this is the first meme I want to start with. Elon Musk trying not to buy MSNBC. And of course, people have lost their mind over this meme. But this is a great example of how Elon Musk and memes have taken over the media. This right here. This is how he bought Twitter. He bought Twitter with memes. He memed his way into buying Twitter. And I don't even think it's an argument that without Musk buying Twitter, I don't know if we would have won this election. I really don't. I think one of the instrumental parts of conservatives winning this election was Musk buying Twitter and then Musk basically becoming red pill to the max. That is how we got the victory. I would, if I could go back in time and like play with time to see what would happen if he had not bought Twitter, I would guarantee it would still be a 65% majority of Democrats on Twitter, and they would have won the election. Even with how bad things are, they would have been able to cheat easier. So I think Musk buying Twitter was instrumental. And so that's how we get to the topic of memes destroying the mainstream media. Not only did memes win us the election, memes is what's had its hand in destroying the mainstream media. This is why they're freaking out. That's why they're freaking out about the potential of Musk buying MSNBC. And he's going to do so by memeing his way to it. When this first came out, you type in MSNBC in Twitter, you just see meme after meme after meme after meme of people memeing on it. You could probably see it right now. Type in MSNBC. You have a bunch of videos, but look, that's not a meme. But you're gonna see memes. At least it was like that. Here's a picture of Obama from DJ Cobra. See? Memes. More videos. memes. It's just nonstop memeing his way into buying MSNBC. Look, Alex Jones memes. And then this clip that I think it's edited clip. It is an edited clip, but it's still hilarious.
Hold on. To at least 3. Put up the graphic of this.
This video in itself is a meme.
I think I'm gonna have to hand this off. Yeah.
So I think quite literally, we memed our way into winning the election and memeing our way into destroying mainstream media. That's what's happening. We had the great meme war of 2016. Well, this is the great meme war of 2024, and this time we've really won instrumental battles here. And MSNBC's audience is disappearing.
And one of the things that has happened amazingly since Kamala's loss is that the MSNBC audience, which is already tiny, has basically completely disappeared. Like the number of people watching those shows when they're live in prime time with that big gigantic corporate power behind them promoting it, it's less than a lot of like YouTube shows. That audience is gone, in part because they feel disillusioned that the people they trusted, who told them Trump was going to prison, the whole Trump family was going to prison, Trump could never win, he was going to be in jail before the election, all the women were going to rise up and vote for Kamala out of anger toward Trump. None of that happened.
Yep.
And they're like, I've been watching this show every day for nothing. None of it happened. None of it was true. And that audience is gone, half out of disillusionment and anger, but half out of just like kind of checking out through impotence and helplessness.
They don't know what to do. We have memed our way into victory. It's beautiful.
Carrie, I want to ask you about that. CNN contributor Carrie Champion joins us in our 5th seat. So, Carrie, I want to ask you about this idea of media takeover, because after Elon Musk purchased Twitter, changed it into X, there's no doubt that he exercised some power there. So how do you hear this even in jest kind of purchase of a cable network?
Good to be with you tonight.
Good to be with you as well.
Thanks for having me. I think that we should believe everything that is said coming from this administration. I don't think that we have the luxury to dismiss it as him being someone who's being funny or someone who is just being himself, or that is his brand. X, and you said in some ways, always. I feel like X, I don't know if anyone is on it in any capacity. I don't know if you're on it. And you're the only one? You're on it?
Everybody's on it.
You all are on it? Okay. I've actually decided to take a rest of peace.
We don't want you.
Because it is not a peaceful place for me. And I know if, in fact, you don't agree with this current administration, most people can say that it's not a peaceful place. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an actual bid made to take on MSNBC, but the fact that it just can't happen in real life.
And we just can't.
Well, I hope it does happen just so you can cry about it some more. Because nobody cares about you anymore. Nobody's listening to you. That little rant you just gave, nobody gives a shit. We're laughing at you. And this goes back to my topic. We have memed our way into victory. We will meme our way into Musk taking over MSNBC. I mean, you can just look at the Alex Jones InfoWars MSNBC. You'll probably find a meme immediately. Look. We're memeing our way to victory.
Oh, that translates to hope you enjoy your depression.
It's ridiculous. It's hilarious. This is the great meme war of 2024. It's the second of the great meme wars.
As soon as it was announced in the early morning hours at 1:27 Central, Musk immediately went on the offensive against the UN and the NGOs funding the open borders and the human trafficking. He immediately went on the offensive against the globalists and their carbon taxes. He immediately went on the offensive
Alex Jones is looking much better,
against
by the way.
all their plans to
He's
cut off
looking
our
really
energy.
good
He
lately.
immediately went on the offensive with them trying to accelerate
He was looking
World
rough
War
there for a
III
minute.
and start heavy bombing, which they did, of Russia.
I can tell Alex is getting healthier, and I love to see that. I hope he's in a new era of Alex Jones, because there was a good couple years where I was worried about him, but he's starting to look healthier.
He immediately has gone on the offensive on Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy. And
now what? Flashback to Mika and Joe on MSNBC. Trump is trying to undermine the media. He wants to control exactly what people think, and that's our job. Whoa. And they wonder why they are losing audience. They think it is their job, their duty, to tell us what to think.
Edges here. Who were Trump voters and are still Trump supporters. They go, yeah, you guys are going crazy. He's doing, what are you so surprised about? He's doing exactly what he said he's going to do.
Well,
Good.
And I think that the dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messing so much that he can actually control
or at least
exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah, if you were Trump voters and are still Trump supporters, they go,
that
yeah,
really
you
affects
guys are
the
going
algorithm.
crazy.
If you put anything to do with the war in Europe, it really messes up things. They do not want us talking about the war in Europe. And I got Tiger King replying to me. I support Tiger King, by the way. Just so people know, I don't care what people think. I think Joe Exotic needs to be pardoned, because there is a lot of corruption behind the people that put him in prison. And I'm sorry, if we're not going to investigate the obvious criminals that put Joe Exotic in prison, then I don't want Joe Exotic in prison. I mean, they have made millions off of this man's name. So he's like tagging me and stuff. I support pardoning him. Let's see what he said.
12802 Easy Street, Tampa, Florida.
Just down the street.
So this is the notary fraud that he's pointed out.
She's doing all this document signing and stuff.
I support Joe Exotic. I don't give a shit what people think of me. And I don't care what he's done. I really don't. Like, at this point, you got real criminals that have gotten away with everything, and then they get Joe Exotic for what he did, and he made mistakes. But I'm sorry, if you're not going to go after the other criminals and just throw the book at Joe Exotic, then sorry. I support freeing Joe Exotic. And I stand by that. And like I said, he made mistakes. I mean, he shouldn't have did what he did. But when you push somebody, when you're doing what you're doing to people and you push them to doing extreme things, they end up doing it. And they do it because they're trying to protect themselves. It doesn't excuse what he did, but it also doesn't excuse the crimes of what others did. I mean, we got people in prison right now who haven't done anything, like the January 6ers. But all of these people who orchestrate all this shit are free. I'm tired of keeping people in prison. I don't know if anybody watched the Spaces last night with Dave Smith, but it was a pretty interesting space. I highly suggest go checking it out. I was lurking there. Okay. There was another meme I wanted to show. Let's see. Where's it at? I've been talking a lot of crap on Twitter today. Yeah, this is the meme that made me decide that this would be the topic I talk about. Antonio Brown, rest in peace, mainstream media. X is here to save the day, and I replied, X gonna give it to you. But this is where I got the thumbnail. So I'm gonna go ahead and give credit right now. SKS Cartoon, I think, is who created the original thumbnail. So give them the credit, and I'll actually put that in the description after the show. But yeah, we have memed our way into victory. That's the overall point I'm trying to convey here. And this is my favorite. Who's your source that X is more balanced than any other platform? CNN.
Also,
they literally played that.
I heard what you're saying about X. I saw a survey this week. It's now the most ideologically balanced
Oh, come
user
on.
platform
Scott,
of any platform.
stop. It's too early. I just sat down. I've only been here for 2 minutes. You cannot continue to say
the show, but
you
it's
cannot
true.
say that.
So-
That's not the case.
So
Who's
what
the
I-
source?
What I find, we reported it on this network. And
It's
so-
not accurate, and you know it.
Okay, I'll let you make your
Scott,
statement. But my point is
can I
this.
reframe it a different way? Because the site changed radically, right? So whether you think the voices it is somehow more balanced now, that's fine. But no doubt Musk's influence is profound, and that you open it up and now you're there with his opinion, and he is now part of this administration. So does anyone else think that there should be this greater concern about billionaires purchasing media companies?
Okay. Would you be worried if Bill Gates controlled MSNBC?
No, because he's sane.
Because
Will you be worried if Bill Gates controlled MSNBC? No, because he's sane, she says. There you go. That's all you need to hear right there. That's all you need to hear. This is how these people operate. They don't care that billionaires are buying platforms as long as those billionaires are parroting their talking points. That's the real problem here. They're not worried about a billionaire taking over things. They're worried about you not saying the right things. And that's exactly why Musk needs to buy MSNBC. So these people understand that they're losing. Because I don't think they've quite figured it out. They're still in this weird, crazy world, in this alternate reality where they still think they have some power. But they're losing that power. They're losing that power. I do love how Joe Exotic is liking all my tweets and shit. I'm sorry, that dude cracks me up, bro. He cracks me up. I just think he's fun, man. Free him. I would love to see if he gets pardoned by Trump and if he just goes wild. I can't wait to see that. Let's see. I had another meme that was on my timeline. What happened with Rumble shares gains as much as 17% Monday after conservative. That's awesome. So apparently Dr. Disrespect is going to Rumble. I'm not even going to get into what's been lobbied at him. There's a lot to that. And that's where I'm doing all my video game streams now. So I do stream video games as well, but I stopped doing it on this channel. And I'm doing it on Rumble exclusively. Part of the reason I did that was, one, it's hurting this channel, but two, Dr. Disrespect's coming to Rumble, and I foresee gaming streams picking up there. So it's I'm going to stop hurting my own political channel and just throw all my gaming streams over at Rumble. And so far it's been, somewhat okay. So yes, we have memed our way. We memed our way to winning the election, and now we're memeing our way into taking over mainstream media. That's my overall assessment. And like I said, I'm calling it the Great Meme War of 2024. It's the second Great Meme War. West Virginia. What is Matt Gaetz saying?
100%.
Okay. If he's talking about himself here, I made a video on this channel going through the fraud, the extortion, the blackmail of Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is innocent. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody has to say about this. I've looked into it quite a bit beyond that Twitter thread that I read in the video. I've actually looked into who Joel Greenberg is, looked into the fake Black Ops teams that they were using to free a guy in Iran and how they extorted Matt Gaetz' dad. So we'll listen to this minute long.
Congrats to President Trump for being 100% not guilty.
He's
but
talking about Trump.
I want all Americans to remember this. If we had somehow not prevailed in this election, Jack Smith would not be dismissing these charges. He would be proceeding to trial. And though this monumental victory was won for all Americans led by President Trump, we have to remember, just like we came within
Thanks for the likes, man.
fractions of
I appreciate that.
from civil war, when President Trump survived an assassination attempt, we also were just fractions away from these people trying to throw Donald Trump in prison. So while all of us are grateful for this victory, for Trump, it was victory or prison because he wasn't going to get a fair trial.
Nope.
It was going to be some.
I just found out I got copyright striked on my my last stream. Of course I did. And I was like very careful of not to play anything copyright, so I don't know what the hell. I'm looking for more memes talking about MSNBC. Let's go. Come on. Let's go back. New, Joy Reid says Doge under Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will lead to polluted air, polluted water, no help at the ER, and worst of all, raw milk. The far-left MSNBC host tried fear-mongering her audience into believing their only milk option would be raw milk. Musk and Ramaswamy have already promised massive cuts to eviscerate federal agencies Republicans don't like. We're breaking these people. These people are breaking.
Richest billionaire Elon Musk and near billionaire Vivek Ramaswamy to create the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, in his new government next year. Now, before I go any further, I need to point out to you that even Donald Trump can't just invent a department of the federal government. The Constitution clearly states that only Congress has the power to establish departments and agencies. But, you know, Constitution, Smonstitution.
Okay, so what about all of these special things that Biden set up during his administration with executive order? That was okay. Get the fuck out of here, Joy Reid.
And what Trump is actually doing, besides helping Musk promote one of his favorite cryptocurrencies, coincidentally called Dogecoin, which he promotes on his ex-Twitter and which is up 190% over the past month, also totally coincidentally, I'm sure, is that he's using the powers of the presidency to get around the inconvenient constitutional checks and balances in order to personally decide who wins and who loses in America. Off the bat, Musk and Ramaswamy have already promised massive cuts to eviscerate federal agencies Republicans don't like. They want to cut $500 billion a year from the federal budget and fire all but 5% of federal employees. They claim, outside looking in, that the agencies have been bloated with federal employees who won't be needed to enforce regulations, since Trump is going to get rid of most federal regulations. So, you know, get ready to enjoy unregulated financial markets, polluted air and water, and raw unpasteurized milk, likely without...
Yeah, so they're broken. That's the overall point of that. So I was replying to some loser who was cursing me out on my last stream. I just realized that. I mean, these people are broken, dude. Like, they're just losing their minds. Like, what do you think going onto my channel to curse me out over nothing? I mean, what have I done? You support Trump. You support a tyrant. Woman has a meltdown over Elon Musk potentially buying MSNBC.
The mass amount of all. So if Elon Musk buys MSNBC, we're cooked, okay? Because they only won the election due to the mass amount of...
Sweetheart, you're already cooked.
Alt-right influencers, podcasters, Fox News, and Elon Musk buying Twitter and turning it into an alt-right pipeline. Do you guys understand that this is one of our biggest news
An alt-right pipeline, as opposed to being an alt-left pipeline, which it is.
Broadcasters. And if he buys it, it's literally over. Now, a lot of our news channels take middle-of-the-road approaches, and that's why the right is so mad, because they want it to be right-leaning. And if it isn't right-leaning...
Did she just called MSNBC a middle-of-the-road approach? Bruh.
Then it's left-wing propaganda. And Elon Musk will take the channel and turn it into another alt-right pipeline. This is huge. This is really bad. Our news outlets already don't do enough when it comes to holding these...
She's missing her septum piercing. That's the one thing missing with this moron. And the blue hair.
...people accountable. We didn't see them report enough on Donald Trump's atrocities. They don't hold him accountable in interviews and don't pressure questions on him. So it's really frustrating to see this play out. We really need someone on our side to buy MSNBC, because if they bought it, it would literally...
So this Butch, Dyke, whatever you want to call her, is cosplaying a redneck. She's got a fish hook in her hat. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I love that. This is my favorite. Elon waiting for Black Friday half-off sale so he can buy MSNBC for just $30. Babylon B. Oh, yeah, this is the one I was watching on Temple earlier. This guy, like I said, we have memed our way into victory. And these people are breaking down. Psychologically, mentally, philosophically, they're breaking. This guy loses his mind. And basically, like, admits that we're lording over you. How dare you? Like, listen to this.
Sits on everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media, you are the media. My message to Elon Musk is bullshit. You're not the media.
Yes, we are.
You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter.
Yes, we do.
You don't do that by having an opinion. You
Thanks
do
for the
it by
like.
doing the hard work.
Yeah, come on, slow clap, everybody. Whoa.
Oh, yes.
First of all, I've got to say, extraordinary content. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said. When all of the garbage is flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do, lying about everything.
It's so hard. We got 6-figure incomes, and it's so hard what we're doing, lying to you every day. It's so hard.
And down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you
Alternative set of facts. That's rich.
do. Or if social media, people lying every day,
Okay, so how is that different from your lying every day? Of course, you're going to have people, when you have a huge pipeline of people able to put in their input, of course you're going to have lies, but at least we aren't corporate sanctioned lies like MSNBC is. I mean, these people are breaking down, dude. Do you understand the power of memes? This is what memes have done. We memed our way into victory, and these people haven't realized it. They're breaking down. Did you know hack journalist Rachel Maddow makes $25 million annually for her fake news show? No wonder why she is sobbing and crying. That is my favorite. Mark Hamill completely left social media. We don't have to listen to Kamala Harris laugh anymore. Elon might buy MSNBC. All the BS Trump cases are being dismissed, and we're not even in January 20th yet. This is D-Day Cobra, by the way. If you don't know who that is, check out Geeks and Gamers. Check out his channel. He's awesome. He's basically who inspired me to start my own channel. D-Day Cobra, Jeremy, is really cool. I really like that guy. Let's see. We're just looking for more evidence that they're losing their mind. That memes could become reality. That's exactly my point of this title. That's exactly the point of this particular show, is what ALX said. Memes are becoming reality. We are getting victory by memeing our way to it.
Ends the argument about how important these social media platforms are. Over the weekend, for example, Musk is joking, I think, about maybe trying to buy MSNBC. It seems he's just trying to troll. Comcast is not making MSNBC up for sale right now. Maybe something will change in a few years. But those tweets, those posts from Musk, those memes that he's posting, it just speaks to his power and his center of power throughout this incoming
Thanks for the likes.
But elaborate on
if anybody's in here and wants to sub
potential
to the channel,
joke. He used some of the same phrasing that he used a few years ago when he ended up actually buying Twitter, when he said, "How much is it?" just fairly casually.
Yes.
I mean, it would seem that, yes, there is a fair amount of trolling going on right now, but at the same time, Comcast...
We're going to troll our way into taking over your jobs, lady.
...is cleaving off a part of the business that could potentially be an affordable acquisition. Do you think that there's any possibility that it's more than a joke?
Well, some inside MSNBC are taking Musk's comments seriously, whether he's trolling or not. There is a serious undercurrent to this, and it is the following. In some countries where we've seen democratic backsliding, where some oppositional media outlets have been captured by the government, a process known as media capture, this is exactly what happens. An ally of the leader, like Musk, comes in and buys a media outlet that is viewed as oppositional, and then he turns the content and makes it more friendly to the person in power. That has happened before in other countries. That's part of the concern when, even if Elon Musk is just joking, that's part of the concern here when it comes to MSNBC. But at the moment, this spinoff that Comcast is doing will take at least a year to complete. There's no immediate sale or any of that.
Of course, Stelter is having a conniption.
But the idea that Musk talks about it, he likes to say the most ironic outcome is the most likely. And in this case, it would be pretty ironic if he controlled MSNBC.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. At least you understand that. I can't wait until Elon and Don Jr. owns MSNBC. It was sexism and racism. It was white women. It was men. Nah, it was you assholes. Yep. So Rep. Wesley Hunt unveils dream host lineup after Elon Musk buys MSNBC. Oh, we gotta listen to this.
See, dude. This also, I think, a major existential threat is you're talking about the country being like a 60-40 like majority. We are certainly in control right now. But if Elon Musk bought MSNBC, dude, I don't know if you saw. I've been catching up on.
Thank you for the like.
When Elon Musk says how expensive is something, that man means it.
Yep.
Like, what's your
the last time he said, how much is it? We all know what happened.
He said that on MSNBC. They are melting down over this. I think they are very, very scared that this being a possibility. We know MSNBC is for sale. That's confirmed. And Elon Musk has been posting memes and asking the price all weekend. Joe Rogan saying he'd come on the network. I don't know, man. It's looking spicy.
Memeing his way into victory.
I think Joe Rogan, I think you, I think Andrew Tate and Tucker Carlson, I think y'all should.
This is my request. Elon, I am a veteran. I almost got my degree in aviation management. Hire me on MSNBC. I don't have to talk politics. I can talk about aviation as an extension of SpaceX. I will be your propaganda for SpaceX. I know a lot about it. Aviation is my dream. I'm a pilot. I will be your shield on MSNBC for SpaceX. Just think about it.
Look, we have our host already. Let's just red pill this thing. Let's get it over with. Let's get that toxic masculinity going, and let's take over the country. Like this is exactly what we need to see. I have my host already in my head, Benny. You're just get ready. Buckle up, because you're gone. You're going to MSNBC, bro.
Pause right here, dude. Okay. I know you do plenty of cable TV. Okay. Could you imagine the ratings if this was Tucker and Megyn Kelly?
Oh my God.
It would be this would be the top rated show in the world.
It'd be game over.
Actually, if you just swapped out Morning Joe.
You know, what's really fascinating about this though is you would see the ratings skyrocket if he actually bought this platform.
Yep.
I think you would see honest reporting.
People would actually go watch cable television again. That's why everybody who is watching cable television are flocking to Gutfield. If MSNBC was bought by Elon, I guarantee you people would be interested in getting a cable package again.
See people that were talking about the truth and honest journalism finally. And this is something that's been lost for the past probably 15, 20 years. And so I pray to God that he is serious. And like I said, we've seen this before with X. He posed that question before. How much does it cost? This guy is a patriot. Elon Musk is a patriot. He doesn't care about money. He cares about his time and how he can influence and impact and change the world. And I saw him speak a few years ago in Jackson Hole. And I was fascinated by him because the first thing I did when I met him was I walked up to him and I said, hey, by the way, we're the only two African-Americans here. That was really funny. I mean, there are 0 black people in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, brother. But, we're African-Americans. You know what I mean?
Fact check true. Yes.
It's true. We are both African-Americans.
He's born in Africa.
Born in Africa. I mean, so what I love about him is that he wasn't talking about money and he wasn't talking about return on investments. He was talking about his time and how many ideas that he has and what he wants to do to change and impact the world. And after all the rockets and Tesla and the tunneling company and all this kind of stuff that he does, what he cares the most about is this country and preserving it for his future and for his children. And this is the most important thing he has done in the last few years is insert himself in the election process. And one thing I always tell people is that, look, you may not want to do politics, but politics does you. And if you don't pay attention to it, then we will lose this country. And what he has done this past year in helping to save our country.
I tell people this all the time. Like, My family and friends get mad about how much I talk about and post about politics, and I'm like, if you don't get involved, I promise you other people are going to get involved, and then that's going to affect your life. Regardless of how you feel about politics, you might want to bury your head in the sand, but if you don't get involved, other people will get involved that do not like you and that will want to lord over you. You have no choice. I have no choice. I have to get involved. I have to stay vocal.
Our country is quite remarkable.
It's amazing you talking about masculinity, because I believe one of the major when the history books are written about this moment, it will be written about the individuals who re-engaged men, especially young men, who have been in a bit lost, I think, in this country, who have been beat down and who have been told their opinions don't matter and to shut up and to stand aside and to let Marxists take over this land.
Yep.
And to let like really sick and disturbing ideologies that are not based in reality assert themselves.
Yes.
And to be ashamed of your masculinity and to be ashamed of who we are. And this was the great awakening of young men, especially young men, but men in general in this country, to say, actually, no, you can't actually, this is my country. You can't actually take it over like this. And we are going to re-engage. And I think that is probably the greatest threat.
Literally what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now, yes, I do have like personal desire to like blow up. If like I woke up tomorrow, next thing you know, I had like 1 million views and a bunch of subs, I'd be happy. That I do have a personal desire to grow the channel, as anybody who starts a YouTube channel. But that's not all of why I'm here. Most of why I'm here is because I want to be engaged in the process. I want my voice to be heard, and I want to be one of the people who bring us back on track. I mean, I think that's a good desire. I think that's a patriotic desire. And I think everybody should do that. Anybody that chimes into this stream, you should start one too, and you should get your voice out there. If you got opinions and things you believe, and you've done research, and you know a little bit of what you're talking about, put on a mic, put on a camera, let's talk. Like, I want to talk. I think everybody should do it. I think we should re-engage in the system, because these people have lorded over us because we haven't been engaged in the system. We've kept our heads in the sand. And that's like mostly why I'm here doing this. But yes, the secondary effect of that is, yes, I want to grow the channel. I would love to grow the channel. If everybody that tunes into this stream and subbed to me and liked it, I would be extremely happy, and I have a personal desire for that. But I want to influence culture. I want to help change things. I want to help men be vocal again. My main concern is the military. I'm a veteran. I want to get the woke DEI shit out of the military, and I want to speak up about it as somebody who experienced it. I want it out. And I'll probably never be allowed in the military again because I have this show that doesn't have any subs, but because I have this show, because I've spoken vocally on the internet, I'm currently not allowed to even serve if I wanted to. I left the military because of the DEI woke shit, and because I was vocal and I got in trouble several times, and that's reality of it. And I stayed quiet for too long, okay? I kept my head in the sand too. I think everybody should speak and be Elon Musk. Meme your way into victory. What memes are like a powerful way of speaking your belief system. It really is. Yes, it's funny, and we have fun with it, and that's the main point, is having fun. But there is a cultural moving part of memeing. We know this now. That's how we got Trump into the presidency in 2016, and that's how we got him into the presidency in 2024. We memed him into it. So what else we got? We just heard Benny Johnson. Gonna doom scroll the MSNBC stuff real quick.
Comcast, and we have some very serious news right now. Elon Musk is now publicly joking about the possibility of buying MSNBC from Comcast, and Joe Rogan is even joking about the possibility of taking Rachel Maddow's spot on MSNBC should Elon Musk buy MSNBC. Now, if you don't know this, Comcast announced earlier this week that it would be spinning off a number of its...
Okay, this dude's whack. Oh, is this a liberal freaking out? I just want to hear people freaking out.
MSNBC is. Comcast is. I don't think the majority of people on the left actually understand how important MSNBC is. Comcast is supposedly putting MSNBC up for sale, and Musk implied he might want to buy it. And Joe Rogan said if he buys it, he'll be on the network. This is all hypothetical for now, but so was Twitter. A lot of people think, oh, we can do with it.
People like this really think, they really truly believe MSNBC is the only way they'll take power back. They still haven't realized it. They still haven't realized that new media is how we got here.
Out a network, but you're thinking of you. You're thinking of Gen Z. You're thinking of millennials. You're thinking of some Gen X. Progressives that are baby boomers and from the silent generation, they almost exclusively get their news from M.
And they're not that important anymore. Yes, they are an important voter bloc, but they are not what swung this election. New media swung this election. Podcasts swung this election. X swung this election. Tweets swung this election. Memes swung this election. MSNBC didn't swing shit. That's why you lost. Because that is where the left exclusively put their focus on, is cable television. And you lost. How was this not registered in them yet?
MSNBC. Because they just don't understand how to use the social media platforms. And no, you're not going to be able to teach most of them. If MSNBC becomes a conservative network, those people are going to keep watching.
And they're dying. They're dying. They're literally in their 80s. They're not going to be here much longer. You better get with the program, lady, or you're going to continue to lose. And I'm cool with that. Keep thinking that MSNBC is how you gain power. Please.
And we know how this pipeline works. First, they're going to say, it's okay, I can tell what isn't true. And then soon enough, they can't. People who listen to right-wing talk radio...
So she's basically admitting that they're trying to brainwash people. Okay. Bold strategy. Guys, we can't let Elon buy MSNBC because then how are we going to brainwash the baby boomers into voting for us? That's basically what she's saying there. So, that's, we're what, 46 minutes in, and that is the topic I really wanted to, So, my overall point, as I've reiterated several times, is we memed our way into the victory in the election, and we're memeing our way into taking over corporate media. That's how we're winning here. And that's how we're going to continue to win. We're not buying MSNBC because we think that that's going to give us this ultimate power to stay in elections, to keep winning elections. It's basically just a meme. Because the people that won this election and know how we won this election, it was the podcast, it was the Twitter, X, it was memes, it was all of these different new media platforms. It had nothing to do with MSNBC. Buying MSNBC is just a meme. It's just like, this is how far we took it. This is how much we won, that we even took over your cable television that you're using to brainwash baby boomers. It's the meme. We're not doing it because we think it's going to give us power. We're doing it for the lulz. They still don't understand that. So, that's that. Let me take a minute here. I got some articles about Europe that I wanted to talk about. Okay, yeah, those are the articles. So give me 1 second. Let me pull it up on here. So I just want people to have an understand of why I think the war in Europe is actually getting serious. So let me pull this up. I got a few articles here. When people start talking like this is when you got to start worrying. So, my first article of why I think the situation in Germany or in NATO is getting serious is this one. UK and France in talks to deploy troops to Ukraine over fears of US removing support. So, if NATO and NATO countries are openly talking about deploying NATO troops or their own troops to Ukraine, we have a serious problem. That's a very bad escalation. That is literally World War III. If any part of NATO deploys troops to Ukraine, that's World War III. They basically openly declare that they will be at war with Russia, just like we basically have already done. That's a serious escalation. So, London and Paris want to create a core of allies in Europe as fears intensify that President-elect Donald Trump could withdraw military support for Ukraine. Britain and France are in talks to send troops to Ukraine to deter Vladimir Putin, it has emerged. London and Paris want to create a core of allies in Europe. Does that sound familiar? We want to create a core of allies, like the alliance in World War II. As fears intensify that President-elect Donald Trump could withdraw military support for Ukraine. British and French troops could be among European allies deployed to deter the Kremlin from attacking Ukraine again. And they could train Ukrainian forces similar to how they did before Moscow ordered a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. A British military source told French newspaper discussions are underway between the UK and France regarding defense cooperation, particularly with the aim of creating a core of allies in Europe focused on Ukraine and broader European security. Estonian Foreign Minister Margus, whatever that name is, told the Financial Times last week, if we are talking about real security guarantees, it means that there will be a just peace. That's poorly written. Then we are talking about NATO membership, but without the U.S., it is impossible. And then we are talking about any form of guarantee in the meaning of boots on the ground. So not only are they bringing up putting Ukraine back in NATO again, or putting in Ukraine in NATO again, they're also talking about putting boots on the ground in Ukraine. We can't have that escalation. I'm telling you, it's going to spiral out of control if they ever put boots on the ground in Ukraine. Or if they openly do it. We already have boots on the ground in Ukraine. But if they start openly talking about it, that's not good. President-elect Trump is alleged to have told his team European army should patrol an 800-mile stretch of eastern Ukraine to end the war. Many across the continent fear Mr. Trump's re-election will lead to a halt in military aid. In exchange, the U.S. would give Ukrainian troops weapons to deter Russia from restarting the war. A member of Mr. Trump's team told Wall Street Journal, we can do training and other support, but the barrel of the gun is going to be European. We are not sending American men and women to uphold peace in Ukraine. And we are not paying for it. Get the Poles, Germans, British, and French to do it. I agree. So, my second article of why I think it is escalating bad in Europe. Top NATO official calls on business leaders to prepare for wartime scenario. A top NATO military official on Monday urged businesses to be prepared for a wartime scenario and adjust their production and distribution lines accordingly, in order to be less vulnerable to the blackmail from countries such as Russia and China. If we can make sure that all crucial services and goods can be delivered no matter what, then that is a key part of our deterrence, the chair of NATO's military committee, Dutch Admiral Rob Boer, said in Brussels. Speaking at an event in European Policy Center think tank, he described deterrence as going far beyond military capability alone, since all available instruments could and would be used in war. We're seeing that with the growing number of sabotage attacks, Europe has seen that with the energy supply. We thought we had to deal with Gazprom, but we actually had to deal with Mr. Putin, and the same goes for Chinese-owned infrastructure and goods. We actually have to deal with Chinese President Xi Jinping. So, they're basically talking about setting up supply lines for a wartime scenario. That's what he's talking about here. And another reason I think it is escalating, Germany draws up list of bunkers amid Russia tensions. App plan for public to find emergency shelters in place, including underground train stations and car parks. Germany is drawing up a list of bunkers that could provide emergency shelter for civilians, the Interior Ministry has said, at a time of rising tensions with Russia. The list would include underground train stations and car parks, as well as state buildings and private properties, a ministry spokesperson said. And it's a digital directory of bunkers in the country. So, NATO officials are talking about opening up supply lines in the case of a wartime scenario. UK and France are talking about deploying troops on the ground in Ukraine, and now Germany is drawing up an app to locate emergency bunkers in Germany. That's escalation. That sounds to me like NATO has inside knowledge of an escalating conflict, and that concerns me. If NATO countries and NATO troops are talking about deploying on the ground in Ukraine, that is a global conflict. And it's already a global conflict. I'm sorry, but I'm not playing semantic games with, well, technically, blah, 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 blah. We're in World War III already. And anybody saying we're not is lying to themselves, and you're full of shit. We are in a global conflict. The United States military is currently guiding missiles into Russia. Okay? We're in World War III. North Korean troops are deploying with Russia in Ukraine. We're in World War III. UK and French are talking openly about deploying troops in Ukraine. We're in World War III. Okay? I don't know if that can be stopped. I don't know if Trump even has the ability to stop that. Regardless, we're in a global conflict. Sorry, I have to put my phone on charge. The sooner people admit that, the sooner we can de-escalate. But if you're not even going to admit the reality of what we're in, then I don't see a way to de-escalate. Because you're not even admitting the reality on the ground. That's my thoughts on NATO. Which, if I were Trump, I would tell NATO, if we don't find a way to de-escalate and find peace and level back this war, then we're pulling funding from NATO, so it just falls apart. I don't care. I really don't. If we're going to start World War III to keep Ukraine a corrupt country that literally is has the largest sex trafficking in the world, if we're just trying to protect them and we're going to start World War III to do it, then let it fall. Let it fall. It's not worth it. It's not worth American lives to protect a country that sex traffics kids. Sorry. Reading all that got my mouth dry. But yeah, that's basically the deal with NATO and Ukraine. So like I do at the end of every show, we're reaching the 56-minute mark. I'm going to do an hour show tonight. I like to doom scroll for a few minutes. I might get on in a little bit. We'll see. But I would like to say thanks for the likes. Thanks for everything. Let me see. No new subs, but if anybody has subbed and it just hasn't shown yet, thank you for that. So we'll doom scroll. NATO should have ended in 1991. He's correct. America should exit NATO today. I agree. I completely agree. The first thing Trump should do is withdraw military aid and withdraw from NATO. And any of you NATO losers who want to watch this video and cry at me about it, I don't give a fuck. Leave NATO. Stop it all. Old cat turd. So yeah, Mike Flynn tweeted it as well. France and England threatening to send troops into Ukraine if Trump withdraws aid. They're psychotic. DC Drano, this is wild. These sick bastards will start World War III if America stops sending our hard-earned tax dollars overseas. What the fuck? Yeah. So we'll read the comments under Clint Russell for my doom scroll part of the show. Good luck the next time the U.S. needs allies like Iraq War and Afghanistan. I'll reply to this nut. And I mute people after I talk shit sometimes because I don't care. We need to get out of NATO. I agree. I'm kind of glad Europe is finally showing its true intentions. They can send their young men to die in Ukraine, but the United States will do no such thing. NATO is a stain on the West. Completely agreed. So, like, everybody agrees. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to be in NATO anymore. Yeah, NATO is way out of control now. Clearly trying to start World War III. Absolute lunacy. People like using World War II as the reason to continue our involvement in this foreign war. I see this current conflict as a mirror to World War I. Major power goes to war with a smaller nation that is backed by other major powers, which leads to those nations sliding into war and young men dying in droves for what was a regional conflict. Yep. That's why I say, anybody telling you we're not in World War III is lying to you and themselves. This is exactly how every global conflict starts. Every time. And then you have UK at first saying, we need to set up an alliance. Where have you heard that before? That's literally World War III talk. But anyways, this was the doom scrolling part of the end of my show. I might get on in a little bit. I have a couple things I have to go do regarding school. But I wanted to get an hour in because I want to make sure that I at least do an hour every day. At least. But I want to do multiple hours when I can. Anyways, thank you for the likes. Thank you for watching. If anybody comes back and watches this later, thank you. I would really love it if people gave me a like and a subscribe. I'm trying to do more shows and trying to do more content. I really need to get better about doing clips on the channel. So I'm gonna try to start doing that more. But anyways, if anybody's in here and wants to leave a like and subscribe, if anybody watches later, I would appreciate that. My hour is up, but I will be back on either later or hopefully tomorrow afternoon. I got to go get a new tire on my car, so I might try to jump on and do an hour before I do that, and then an hour tomorrow night. But either way, I got some stuff I got to do for school. Got to go eat and all that jazz. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great evening.